Hey, welcome back, knife nerds and everyday care people. It's your boy, the Big Canucker here, and I'm coming at you with another video. Um, yeah, I'm not too sure if I mentioned or not, but a while ago, when I travel, I like to travel, and I have lots of traveling going on, so up and down to Calgary for my doctor's appointments. And while I'm up there, I like to make sure I bring a couple of knives with me, two, three, four knives. And if I got something dull, I'll sharpen it while I'm there. I'll strop it. It's just relaxing. Plus, you never know what's going to happen. You're always going to need to have more than one knife on you when you're traveling. I got to make sure I have a multi-tool. Make sure I've got what's going on in the pocket. Make sure I got something I can lend to somebody if they need to cut something. And I happened to thought I lost, or for a while I did lose this Spyderco Southern. And if you guys remember this Spyderco Southern, I did a video about this, doing a RIT dye job on it. So it was a brown Spyderco Southern, and it is now a red Spyderco Southern. It's kind of a dark maroon, and really, really dig this knife. Now, I love the look of this knife. I love the look that it's got the red on it now. This is, uh, without a doubt, I think my favorite blade finish that Spyderco makes. It looks like I'm not even sure what they did to it, but it's like they mirror polished the edge and then they stone washed it. So everything is really nice and smooth and chamfered. Um, it is excellent. Now, I do believe this I think this is from Tai Chung, if I'm not mistaken. Can't read here, it's too dark. It's too small. And yes, it is from Tai Chung. So the fit and finish is fantastic, but the way they chamfer this is unbelievable. I just love the fit and finish. Now, anyway, when I lost this, it was heartbreaking, and I thought, okay, don't panic. Yeah, probably didn't drop it or leave it in a vehicle or anything like that. I figured that I just misplaced it and that I would find it. And now this has been going on about 2.5 months, and I was starting to get a little bit worried. And I ended up um, looking through I carry a bag with me all the time. It's like, I guess it's like a merce. It's like an expedition bag, and I carry that with me all the time. And in one of the kind of hidden pockets inside. I didn't even realize it was there. This must have slipped inside there. And because I was emptying it out, because I wanted to gather all my money in one spot, I wanted to put an extra mask in there because the COVID-19 mask, got to make sure you have them. I want to so I was just kind of getting it all ready, and I felt something in the side pocket or in the front. I'm like, what the hell is that? And then I realized, oh shit, it's my knife. And I took me a second to find out to get in that pocket. And when I touched it, I knew, bam, my salad was back. And I literally danced a little bit of a one-legged jig. And my wife was like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like you're giddy like a little schoolgirl. And I told her I thought I lost my knife. And I got the crazy eye roll. And pretty much, you freaking knife people are crazy. And my wife just does not understand. They don't understand at all. So that's what this video is about. I've just kind of got the top 10 reasons that I could think of how we're just a little bit different, a little bit weird being knife people. Um, and you know what? This is by no means a finite list. I think it can absolutely be endless. And I would love to hear in the comments below what you have got for what makes you a little bit different, what makes us a little bit different, your little quirks, your little knife things like that. So it is my top 10 ways knife people are a little bit different. Okay, starting one. When we lose a knife, it's like a death in the family. Uh, it's not like losing anything, like, because you know what? We always have our little things. If we lose something, it's like, oh, well, I hate to have lost that. And, you have a little bit of a lamentation. But when you lose a knife, it is like a kick in the gut, or maybe even a little bit lower. I forgot, or I lost a Spyderco Mannix 2XL when I was up in Calgary, and oh my goodness, I mean, I literally spent 5 hours tracing back my day, going to the Chinook Mall, going to the place where we had supper, going to the place where we had lunch, tearing apart all the vehicles, tearing apart all my luggage. it was incredible how much time I set aside to try to find this. I put up stuff on Facebook. I put up stuff on Kijiji. If anybody found it, I put up, I think probably a, I don't know, 6, 7 different message boards. If somebody found this knife, and how I knew it was going to be my knife was a little bit different because I had the black DLC coated blade, but I had taken the outline, the total border of it, and I sanded it down so it looked like it had kind of a shadow effect. It was really, really quite cool. I loved that knife. And but alas, you know what, is in somebody else's pocket right now. And good for them. I hope they cut the hell out of stuff with it. So now, conversely, if we happen to find a knife in that same vein, we dance a little jig. We're so happy. It's like I don't want to compare it to my firstborn, but damn it, it's kind of close to having my firstborn when I find that knife. All right, now number two, how we're a little bit weird, different is we can flick a knife open and closed 10,000 times and still not be sick of it. I watch TV, flip my knife open. Drive my car, flip my knife open. That might even be possibly why I like Spyderco so much, because stuff like the Spyderco Paramilitary 2, I think I've watched videos where guys have opened it 17 different ways. You know, you got the Spidey flick, you got the Spidey drop, you got the pointy finger flick, the middle finger flick, the whatever finger flick, the pinky finger flick, the thumb flick. But, you know, when you rate a knife, not only does it how comfortable it is, how it looks, how it cuts, it's also fidget factor, how it'll flick. That's an important thing nowadays about buying a knife. So my wife absolutely hates it. I could be upstairs, I could be two complete stories away from her, and she'll hear my knife flick, and she'll send me a text or she'll yell, "Stop flicking your freaking knife!" And what am I supposed to say? You know, happy wife, happy life. But damn it, I love flicking my knife. And when she's not home, I flick the shit out of my knives. All right. Now, another way that we're different. So we tend to carry separate knives for lending to somebody. Uh, if I have got uh, something to carry, I've always got, say, I got my Spyderco Southern. Freaking love this blade. Love the finish on it. Right now, I've got pretty much a mirror polish. She is lightsaber sharp. And if somebody says, "Hey man, can I borrow your knife?" I will not give them this knife unless I know them and trust them and they're another knife guy. Then I'll hand over the knife. But if they're just an acquaintance, a family member, a brother, I'll give them my my Leatherman Surge and open up that blade, that one, or I'll have a inexpensive knife that they can use to open up their whatever they're cutting with, because if they cut the shit out of something and they drop it and they bend the tip on it, well, Leatherman's got 25-year warranty, or you know what, if it's a $30 uh, CRKT or Kershaw, I'm not out a whole lot. That's the knives that I would give somebody to borrow, not my $337 Spyderco Southern. And $337, I think, is what they're selling for right now. I did not pay that for this. I lucked out. I got it on sale, because another thing, my wife would kick me in the junk if she found out that I spent $337 on a knife. All right. Um, Now, if we do happen to also give somebody our good knife to cut with, it's, they need it. Like, we kind of worry about it and we hover and like, whoa, whoa, what are you doing? Like, don't cut that the electrical cord with my knife. You're gonna fuck up the edge, or be careful. I remember early on in my knife collecting uh, life, is I had a Kershaw early on, Kershaw Blur 2, and I wanted to grab a piece of rubber from a windowsill, like just that surrounds a window on a car door, just because my company Worth, we sell products that fix that. If you got a crack on it or a tear, you can put this silicone type material on there and it fixes it. So I wanted to get a little piece of it. Now, I did not know that inside those surrounds, a rather large solid steel cord was around there. So I grabbed my knife, grabbed it, pulled on it, pop, freaking dulled my knife right from edge from the ricasso to the tip, completely flattened out that edge, and it took me a while to get that back because the cursaw blur is a pain in the ass to sharpen with that recurve edge. But I sat for a couple of hours with my oh, geez. I can't remember the sharpening system I used back then. It's the one with the many different stones and the little rods. Oh, I can't remember. Oh, off the top of my head. But it took me a long time to get that going. So that's why I don't hand people my good knife when they need to cut something. All right. Let's just see here. What else we got? Number 4. Uh, we buy and use knives that we will not hand to a non-knife person. So just in case they cut themselves or they damage the knife. I know, butterfly knives. That's illegal in Canada. So we don't want to hand anybody a butterfly knife here in Canada because you know what? They'll flip it around and cut the shit out of their fingers, and then you're the bad guy because their pinky finger is laying on the floor. And there's some just really weird opening knives and closing knives that you just unless you know the knife or you're a knife guy, even things like compression lock, a lot of times people don't completely understand how to close a knife, and they're trying to force it closed, or you know, uh, sometimes with a liner lock or a frame lock, they can realize, but even sometimes frame locks have got little kind of catchy locks on them that they try to reef and close, and they slip and cut themselves, and you're the bad guy. So yeah, they're out the front knives too. Another illegal knife here in Canada. Sometimes people don't realize how fast those comes out, or even automatic knives, which are or assisted knives here in Canada. That's another really big thing. Kershaws and CRKT are really big for those assisted knives, and I don't think people realize how fast those things rifle out. I don't happen to have any assisted knives in Kershaw or CRKT, but I have seen cases where people have opened them and they don't realize how fast they come out. Snap! And it's somebody's got a cut finger. All right. So, number 5. We know and care about what kind of steel is in our knife blade. And yeah, a lot of times people do not know what type, you ask them, what type of steel is in your blade? I don't know. It's just, it's shiny, or it's got a black coating, or it's serrated. But a lot of times, non-knife people, they just don't care what type of steel is. As long as they've got steel on their blade and it's not aluminum or something like that, they don't care. Um, Now, I do believe in this Spyderco Souther is a CTS XHP, which is an absolutely fantastic knife steel, which is stainless, it is tough, it's sharp, it takes a wicked edge, it keeps an edge for a long, long time, and it's one of the best knife steels that are out there. So now, the other thing is when we kind of know what steel is in your knife and you care about it, when you do see that guy buying that gas station knife at the gas station, he's shelling out $30 or something, you want to say, whoa, 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 dude, like, let's not get that, that cheap Chinese, what is it, like 5CR13 MOV steel that is just slightly better than a butter knife. Because, I mean, you can get some 12C28 or 14, 127. Like, you can get some good budget steel. D2 is a fantastic tool steel that's not going to break the bank. That, I mean, rather than spending $30 to get that gas station knife, why don't you spend $39 and get something that's going to suit you a whole lot better? So, and those gas station knives, I mean, I look at them and I look at the price tags on them, and I think, well, there was probably a time once where I thought that those looked pretty cool, but man, oh man. Now, a little bit of a bonus here. If you're a knife guy, you probably know what a Z Hunter is. And that is, I think, one of the big daddy gas station knives. That is your friend and mine, favorite knife reviewer, Dick Shabazz, is one of his favorite knife. It's the green monstrosity with all the little spheres on it with the Z Hunter on it. It's Zombie Hunter. So, all right. Number 6. Now we can buy the same knife, but with different multiple steels in it. I know that there are people out there who specifically collect paramilitary tools, and that's it. they love the paramilitary too, and they've got it in M4, they've got it in S30V, they've got it in S35VN, they've got it in satin finish, they've got it in black DLC coating. I mean, I don't know how many different types of steel that PM2 comes in, because I know that comes in a whole lot more than I'm even aware of. Maxing it. I mean, that's another, I think, paramilitary 2 steel. So, a guy will have the same knife with multiple, and to him, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But you get the non-knife person, and they'll look and say, well, why do you need to have that same knife with 16 different steels in it? Because it's important to know that you'll one day want to have carry an M4, and the next day you want to carry S30V, and the next day you want to cut through a twisted sisal rope 7 million times, so you take your Maximate knife. All right, so that is another kind of a quirk here. So number 7, we have no idea why the guy at the office freaks out when we pull out our knife to open up a letter, and it's a Spyderco Tatanka or a Cold Steel Espada XL. And he says, what the hell do you need a knife that big for? I'm just because I want to open up the mail. To me, that's a perfectly reasonable thing to do, is to pull out a 15-inch long knife to open up an envelope. If you're going to do it, you might as well do it right. So yeah, I don't know. Sometimes people, they look at knives as murdery things and stuff like that. And if they just sat back and realized that most people who are hurt by knives are hurt by their kitchen knives or a utility knife. Very rarely is anybody injured or stabbed with a split blade or an out the front or a flipper knife. Like I said, statistics, if you read all the statistics, it's going to be your kitchen knife, I do believe, is your number one edged weapon that commits murder, unfortunately. And nobody likes to think about that. And it's kind of a little bit of a downer. I do not buy knives to protect myself. I don't. I'm sure that they're in a situation. Did some reading up on people who actually have been involved in knife fights. And I think knife fights are an ugly, horrible thing. And if you've got two guys fighting with a knife, 97% of the time, two guys are going to get cut. 75% of the time, two guys are going to go to the hospital. Two guys are going to need stitches. There is very rarely a winner in a knife fight, there may be a winner, but there's very rarely somebody who wins a knife fight without getting damaged themselves. So just think about that next time, guys. That's all I can say. All right. And you know what? I may be wrong. If I'm wrong, leave it in the comments. All right. Now, speaking of going to the hospital with after a knife fight, how about just going to the hospital because, damn it, um, our knives are going to bite us. And if you get, I mean, I get cut probably at least twice a month. Well, they're not all like great big ones. I mean, I get little tiny nicks on. I think there's my last one right here. Right here. There's my, majority of them are stuff like that. But sometimes they're a whole lot better than that or worse than that. But I do know one time I cut off the tip of my finger with a Spyderco, and it happened to be my paramilitary too. Just not paying attention, snick, and the doctor. That one I went to the hospital, and the doctor said, we're gonna have to cauterize this because it's just would not stop bleeding. And he said, well, so they use this little chemical thing where they remove some little uh, cover, and once it hits the air, it starts to heat up, and then it becomes a chemical. It's almost like a chemical burn that cauterizes it. And he says, well, we won't freeze the finger because we'll be done this so quick, and the freezing will hurt just about as much as this cauterization. And I have to tell you, no freaking way did it. Oh my goodness. If you ever have to have a finger wound cauterized, get the damn freezing because holy smokes, this hurt. And I've got a really, really high pain threshold, except for headaches. I'm an absolute giant pussy if I get a headache. Didn't know why I wanted to throw that in, but I've got a pretty high pain tolerance. And Holy cow, that hurt like an MF. And I said, okay, whoa. We got about halfway done. I said, yeah, let's freeze this sucker. So he froze it, cauterized it, wrapped it, and you know, 3 months later, my finger was better, although the nail kind of grew funny for a little while. But yeah, so yeah, always carry band-aids. I always carry band-aids. I always carry some liquid skin stuff in my bag, so if I could just give it a little bit of a paint over, and there goes, you know, hopefully it'll help. And it basically all that liquid skin stuff is just a super glue. So if you have a super glue, that's actually a really good little band-aid. And now, the only difference between, I do believe, regular super glue and like the liquid kind of skin super glue band-aid is the liquid glue super glue band-aid has got less like contaminants in it. They're only allowed to have so much contaminants in it, where the other stuff, it can have a whole lot more. But other than that, I think it's pretty safe to use either one. But I'm not a doctor, so if you lose your finger, don't come pointing at me. All right. Now, okay, number 9. Um, Most of our genes have got the front, if you're right-handed, the front right pocket is rashed through. There's so much. Now, this particular knife here is absolutely horrible for putting in and out of my jeans, because this clip here you can see is it's got kind of a pointy end, and it always kind of seems to jab into my pocket. But if your clip is on this side with the G10, lots of times I have taken my clip off, and right under where the clip meets the G10, I'll sand it smooth so you can't see it, and that's kind of saved a little bit of my jeans. But other than that, the G10 just crushes my jeans. And I mean, I forgot to grab a piece to show you. And the jeans that I'm wearing right now, they're fairly new, so they don't have the thing. But I got to say, 80% of my jeans have got the front right pocket kind of tore up from the put the knife in and out of the pocket. G10, it's the worst thing that you can do for jeans. All right, now number 10. And these all could have been taken in no particular order. But number 10, when we're cutting up cardboard, we cut it in the smallest pieces possible in the hopes that we're going to dull that knife and we have to sharpen it. And you know what the really insane thing is? Conversely, we'll buy a steel like CTS XHP that has absolutely fantastic edge retention, rather than buy like say 8C or 13 MOV that you got to sharpen every second day. I enjoy sharpening my knives, but damn it, I don't enjoy sharpening 8C or 13 MOV knives. I'd rather sharpen a CTS XHP knife or a 20 CV knife or an S30V knife. Um, yeah, and there's absolutely, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Like, I mean, I've got um, a Spyderco Tenacious that I gave to my boy, and I've got a Spyderco Resilience. Now, the Resilience I now use as kind of a gardening knife, but every single time I use that with gardening, about half a dozen times I gotta take my little. Sometimes I'll take my little Victorinox ceramic rod, and I'll just I'll touch it up, and while I'm there cutting things, and it pisses me off that 20 minutes later she's back to dull. So I haven't had the guts yet to take one of my really, really good knives and use that as a kind of gardening knife, but the Resilience just isn't cutting it. And I hate 8-0-13 MOV steel. And that's could be almost like a number 11. We're damn steel snobs. At least I know that I am a steel snob. So I just want to say, hey, I hope you enjoyed this little lighthearted look at the craziness that we're all involved in here, collecting knives. And I would appreciate you guys leaving, your quirky stories, your quirky knife nut things in the comment section. I enjoy hearing about them. I appreciate it so much. Now, please, guys, stay safe out there because we're not out of the woods yet. Keep your stick on the ice, the shiny side up. Oh, I forgot to say, if you like what you saw, give me the thumbs up as well as subscribe. Help me spread my voice. Got to get to 1,000 before the year's out. Yeah, so thank you so much. Have yourself a wonderful day. Keep your stick on the ice, the shiny side up. This is the Big Canucker saying adios.